when I was growing up, I was told children are to be seen and not heard. And I was like, what? But I have a voice. So it led me to say, we all have a voice. So your story matters. And what you've been through, if we don't talk about our story and what we've been through, we continue the cycle of generational trauma to be able to help with those triggers. Because sometimes when you're trying to tell your story, you're triggered. And that's why people,
most of the time.
Yeah, they can't. They're like, I want to tell my story, but it hurts. But I'm going to be judged, you know?
Hello and welcome to The Money Mindset Show, the place where we help female entrepreneurs to transform their mind so that they can achieve financial success in the least amount of time. Here, we talk about subconscious mind, we talk about money mindset shifts, money mindset blocks, a strategy so that you can bypass your own money mindset and increase your income, better your relationship with money, and grow your business. Okay, but before I let you into today's episode, come here. Be honest with me. How many times have you found yourself doing the extra thing, going the extra mile because you really, really want this goal, but the financials are nowhere to be seen? You know you want your financial independence, but yet you find yourself spending more time and effort and money into crafting the perfect social media strategy, thinking what should I write, what picture should I post, when should I post it, instead of looking at the things that really matter with money. The exact same loop that I have seen hundreds of my clients throughout the years getting stuck. And the reason is one and one only. The type of habits that are driving your life, these habits are the leader of your show, of your business. And we have to stop them. The way that you do that is by adapting new ones. I have put together for you the top 5 financial habits for exponential growth with your business for you to download right now. Go to themoneymindset.com/5. That is themoneymindset.com/5 and download this top 5 financial habits for exponential growth specifically for founders. Again, that is themoneymindset.com/5. Welcome, Caroline, to The Money Mindset Show. It's our pleasure to have you here. Please introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am Carolyn Renee, and I am the founder of the Brand LLC. I have a branch that has service, and it's called Deal to Heal. And that's the number 2, coaching. And my coaching focuses on healing for creative entrepreneurs. And specifically lately, I've gone into healing for women, helping to heal the inner child and releasing so that women can release their creativity and that confidence so that they can have their creative businesses and moving forward. I'm doing a pivot because I've noticed a lot of different challenges going on. So I'm pivoting. We gotta have the art of a pivot.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. I think that's the word from most of us during this year, pivot.
Yes.
Like I started this year with something in mind and then like, pivot. Nope. That is not the way. The other way, pivot.
Yes.
So that is a good word to have. Why do you start this coaching business specifically for creatives and, getting over that writer's block, that creation?
Right. So for me, right, my life purpose is actually to do what works for me, right? So I am a creative. So I have to go not chasing the money. I have to follow my soul. So for me, I am a creative and I like to create movies and share the story. I realize that there is purpose in my pain. So sharing my story and talking about what works, right? So when we're thinking about what type of business, it was, well, what's your pain point? What pain and what issues do I see in the world that I have that flair right? So I can tell creative stories. And whose story am I going to tell? I'm not going to make up something. So I'm going to share my story, because sometimes people like, they don't believe the things that I've been through. So I'm like, yeah, I could tell it in a very creative way, So it was like that pain point. And it goes back to when I was growing up, I was told children are to be seen and not heard. And I was like, what? But I have a voice. So it led me to say, we all have a voice. So your story matters. And what you've been through, if we don't talk about our story and what we've been through, we continue the cycle of generational trauma. So I want to tell my story, and I want to tell other people's story. So I want to help creatives to be able to help with those triggers. Because sometimes when you're trying to tell your story, you're triggered. And that's why people,
most of the time,
they can't. They're like, I want to tell my story, but it hurts. But I'm going to be judged,
Yeah. Let's talk about the process that you had to go through from knowing about your voice, about wanting to tell these stories, but overcoming those traumas, like you said, to be able to step in and now become a leader for others to do the same.
Yeah. So that process, I called it the trauma tour, right? So
I love it.
I went on a trauma tour when I was getting my certification, and I had to go and speak and have conversations with my parents. And I had to ask them the tough questions, right? So I had to put my feet in my mother's shoes, and I asked her, and I said, what was it like to have me at 16? And I listened, and I felt her pain, and I felt it, and I apologized to her, and I forgave her, because I understood then what it was like for her to actually, and I thanked her. Right. So sometimes, a lot of times, we put our parents on a pedestal, and we think that they're supposed to do all of these great things. And they're actually, I was like, she was a child having me.
Right.
So I had to forgive her and release so that I could have peace. Right. And move forward. So I went on this trauma tour. I talked to my mom. I talked to my dad. I talked to my aunt, because my mom gave me away at 5. And I was like, so this feeling of abandonment.
Yeah.
Right. And that inner child, if we don't heal our inner child, that carries on with us into adulthood. And then we have these issues in our relationships, and that affects us. So if we don't heal, then that affects us in our adulthood. So I had to have this trauma tour and go on this journey so that I could get past what was blocking me, so that I could help others. So now that's what I'm doing.
On this Black Business Owned Month, we are highlighting the story of amazing Black female entrepreneurs, business owners that are putting their services, their product, their innovations out there, because Black women and people of color need more platforms to share the amazing creations that we all are doing. That's why throughout this month, you're going to hear the stories that Black female entrepreneurs building things that I couldn't even imagine it was possible. And here's how you can support all of these female entrepreneurs. Make sure that for each episode that you listen to, you share with somebody else. You share with that friend, that colleague, that person that you think it may be at interest of. And this is the most important part. We really appreciate that you go and rate and review this podcast. The more reviews and the more rating that we have, the bigger impact we can make. More people is going to know about this podcast. More people is going to hear about this female founder. So what creatives and beyond the one, how do I help them to become more creatives to create what in this world?
Way is to be able.
Love that.
That yes, you can niche down. Yes, I can say I can reach this many people, but as saying for creative entrepreneurs, I've actually had different people come to me, right? Because I want to create a space from a place of curiosity. I've had men, I've had women, I've had different cultures, because I respect who you are. Have to engage in your culture to respect you, because namaste, I respect the divine in you, light in you, and I respect who you are. Operate in your own divinity, right? I respect your story. If I work with you, it's because I see the story in you. I don't have to be you or, indulge in your culture. If I see something in you and your story and help you bring it out and I get a vision about it, and that's fine. I don't have to be you. My best friend is Muslim. I have people around me from different kinds of culture. And honestly, within who I am, I don't have to be you. I don't have to impose anything on you. So a lot of times I feel like I can love anybody better than they can love me because I can love unconditionally. It don't come with I see you. So I can love you, be who you are. Don't tell me what I need to hear. Just be who you are. That's the part of like self-love. So when I'm teaching, like love know who you are. You came here. You wanted this body. You are light absorbing, right? So that's
Love it. Including that is what has been important aspect of somebody's stories for you to pull out of themselves, because you are kind of that, like the way that I see it, is like that magic wand that kind of takes like attracts. I'm imagining it like a British person.
mm-hmm.
I'm imagining you putting a magic wand into somebody else's chest and pulling this story out
Mm-hmm.
way until they can see it. But what is the moment when you say, "Here's your story. This is like this."
It comes from them, right? So a lot of times what I can usually see like as it comes. Sometimes people can't see the why. And until it has manifested, I can they'll be like, why me? And what I'll see is why not you, right? The overcome. Like if you didn't go through then, you wouldn't be able to see that you were resilient and you got through it and now can do this, right? Where's the triumph? I can see the triumph in it. So coming from trauma to triumph, it's the part of it. And sometimes that's comes from. So when someone's talking about it, it's like, well, why did I have to go through this? And I went through that and I went through that. And I'm like, well, if you're still standing here, that's your why. That's why you went through it. 'Cause you're still here. The people that are in the grave can no longer make their stories come to life. You can have a posthumous, like something, right? But it's too late. Like it's crazy how the value of something goes up posthumously.
Yeah.
But if you tell your story,
yes. And I think that's it. That's the most important part of telling our stories. Not only for others to listen. I think most of the time it's not for others to listen. It's for us to become aware of what we have gone through. Like, it's kind of like we need to hear it. It's maybe the reason why we like books or audiobooks, or it's because we need to hear the story from a third perspective. And that often is difficult for us to say, I have been gone through that, or I have never experienced that, so I cannot talk about that either. It's a very interesting thing to look at. But I want to touch in, what is your vision for your coaching business in a year from now, after this pivoting moment that you're having? A year from now, 5 years from now, how you see it changing and shaping the industry that we are in right now?
So right now I am in a transition period because right now I'm actually moving more spiritual. I'm in a place where I'm moving more spiritual and I'm actually moving into speaking. Right. So that is the way I am shifting. Right.
Yeah.
So I am being shifted to speak more and to move from behind the screen, because for me, I've been doing behind the screen because I do everything. Right.
Yeah.
So I literally teach myself how to do things. I teach it. I do it. I run all my social media. I run everything. I'm creating content and I'm putting it out. But I think that the things that have not been working, so dealing with financially, it hasn't been working because Spirit is like, you got to get out to the people. They need healing, right? They need you. And I've been going live on TikTok, and I went actually to in-person events, and the people were saying, we need you. And I was like, really? And they were like, yes. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay. So I am working on the speaking, and I actually crystals. So I have crystals. So I'm going to be working on healing work, right? And clearing chakras, in doing divination. These are things that I've been doing behind the scenes that need to be more out front, because that type of healing is needed and necessary, right? So bringing me outside of my comfort zone and bringing what I do behind the scenes up front to help with those endeavors. So people are now coming to me asking for that type of work. So more spiritual work and helping to clear that energy and more positive energy. And then helping people clear their chakras, and then helping with that work so that they can help heal their inner child and forgiveness and love, so that once that energy is cleared, now they can actually create. And I have all the tools to help them build their business and then help with the social media. So now once all of those blockages are cleared and their mind is cleared, then they can go forth in business. So that's where I'm seeing the coaching is going. We're going to work with the spiritual and then get to the. So it's interesting. I was actually doing so bank codes, right? So if we're talking about sales according to bank codes, with bank codes, there's the blueprint, you have the action, you have the nurturer, and you have the knowledge. So I am a high nurturer. And as a nurturer, I am concerned with nurturing, right? So my buying impulses is according to, what's the packaging like? What's the people like? And my sales tactics, I'm going to love up on you. And that's how so as a creative, that's how I'm going to sell it to you.
Yeah.
So I know this about me. So I'm like creating, and I'm all day, every day. I'm like, wait, but I got to make money. So who's going to who's worried about the money? Who's worried about I got a whole pitch deck, and the financial page, I was stumped. I was like, who going to do the numbers? Somebody come do the numbers. I get anxiety when it came to the numbers. Literally, I was like, how much it costs? Literally, I got anxiety because my B, I'm a high N, then A, K, D. I think it was like 24, 20 something, 17. My B was like 7.
Okay.
That's the blueprint. That's the person that's going to make sure all the I's is dotted. And I was like, I don't know. So I know on my team, when I get a team, I need the money person. That's the person that's going to make sure that the creative, and this is how you know who you need to hire on your team. And as far as my Myers-Briggs, I'm an ENFJ. I'm an extroverted, intuitive, feeling, judgment, right? So I need a ISTP. I need the, and then my DIS, yes, the structure. I'm a DI. I'm the life of the party. Right? I'm the action taker, but I don't want to be because I don't want to do that. So yes, I jump from here to there, I'm the visionary. I need an integrator. Right?
I tell you what, that this is very common and among all the creators. So the people that I work with, they're mostly the creators part, they're mostly feeling the same, anxious about money. They have a lot of, if I focus on this too much, I'm blocking my creativity. And I've seen it happening live. It's like, I cannot think about that. So a lot of the work that we do is to remove that, because it's a sign of trauma as well. Because the reality for us is when you become a business owner, I am a finance person. I have to be creative, right? So if I'm getting it, like I used to get the when I had to create, like, but let's just talk about numbers. But let's just talk like, give me an Excel spreadsheet and I will do it. I will tell you how much you price it. But when it came to creativity wise, I'm like, but I had to step into that so that I can hire I wouldn't hire because I didn't know how to do it. I would hire because I mastered knowing how to do it. I don't want to do it. You can go ahead and do it yourself. And it's the same when it comes to the creative side. Money, and this is a very unpopular opinion, money is the most creative energy that there is. I just absolutely love everything that you can create with that energy. Just see how countries create themselves based on this energy. So
I'm trying. I am trying. So I'm trying. I am really trying, because literally when I say like I hit rock bottom, following my dreams, it's like I felt like I was supposed to be a martyr. I like quit my jobs, everything. I was like, I have to be creative. I'm be creative. I'm going to be the starving artist. Literally, because I feel like when I say that it hurt going to the job, that I had anxiety in the parking lot, like literally crying at my desk, literally. And it hurt so much. But like, I'm at a point now where I had to shift my mindset. And like someone told me like 2 weeks ago, he said, if they're not paying you to do what you love, it's a hobby. And that hurts. Yeah. That hurt. He was like, you don't have a business, you have a hobby.
Yeah.
And I think I got so frustrated. I said, I can't do this hobby anymore. And that's why I said, I'm in a shift now.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want it to feel like work. I want to do what I love. So that's where Spirit was like, you have to do your spirituality. That's where it's going to be. And if you just trust that you just operate in spirituality, then your needs will be taken care of. And that's what I've been sitting on. Like, you know what, if I just follow that, then it's there. And I see it as an energetic exchange then. It's an energy exchange. And then like Rachel Rodgers has this book, like We Should All Be Millionaires. Like I'm trying to shift that millionaire mindset. Like the things I could do with $1 million to really influence my people and such. Like I could do that. And that's where she was like, the things Beyonce could do with the money to help change a country.
Right.
Think of what you could do with currency. And I'm like, oh, if I think about it that way. And that's where it's like the culture of scarcity mindset. Because I was like, Grandma, why we don't have will readings? What's that? Why we don't have that? Like, why we don't have that in our, like, we don't have that. Why when everybody die, we having fish fries and GoFundMes? What's that about? Why we don't do that? Like, I've been around millionaires and things like that. So that's there. So like, I have that A. But I battle with this duality, and I'm like, I want it, but so I've been trying to shift my mindset into thinking that, yes, I need to shift the mindset to create for this energy exchange. And that's when she's like, raise your prices, your worth, know your worth. It's okay. Have the value of your product and what you're doing. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm in a process.
Yes. And I tell you what, you're in a very good path on the process. The way that I hear you is this is the path leading to that change. I had an episode with Catherine Sinkin at Manifestation Babe, and we were talking about that energy of money. And especially for my creative people, how money, millionaire, rich, all of these words are triggered against their identity because of what you say. I'm going to be the starving artist, right? That's an identity that society has created. And subconsciously, you're buying into that identity. You're buying into, if I want to show all of my gifts that are creative, that are spiritual, that means that I cannot go for the money. And it's not that way. Because like I said before, money is the most creative energy that there is. Not only because it supports you to create with your business and to continue creating your stuff, but it's because it builds the society. We live in a financial system that requires money. It is not because I deserve it. It is not because I am worth it of it. It has nothing to do with me. It's just a fact of a system. The system says that money is there for those who buy and for those who sell. So has nothing to do with me. I am great as I am. I am great creating. I am just need to put the structure so I become part of the sellers part of that system. It is a great shift to have, to understand that nothing of what you do or don't do, or nothing of what you are or are not, affects the flow and the amount of money.
Yes.
It is has nothing to do with what you are doing. Yes, you need to work if you want to go up the street and you start having a restaurant and you put your soul into it because it's a need. It is not because it's a need. You need to put your soul into it. Because there's so many parts to discover this. Discover your voice, you need to discover your perfect flow, you need to discover the type of people that you want to work with. It's not the money, but if you want to decide to put a restaurant, go all in that. All in that, and be certain that by default, with the system, you are going to make it cannot be
Right. It is because I tell you, when I say I'm looking at things and I just like would love to pay them. I would love to. I would love to because that is a good feeling. I don't want to not to have debt. Like it's not. I'm like, this is just not of God. Like this is just not. That's not. I want to be able to like, yes, pay them. So yes, I G exchange. It just doesn't feel good when it's not there. I want to be in that abundance. So yeah, I am in the abundance mindset. That's the shift too. You know, that shift into that abundance mindset already there, that mindset. So that's another thing of being able to already see it and think it and have that mindset to be a shift. So to see and feel and think it in that mindset, that's a process as well of knowing and seeing, you know, the positive and seeing to be able to shift yourself out of dark place, out of that place, that mentalism. You have to be able to shift yourself out of that place because it could be like, whew.
A lot of financial trouble.
Yes.
Saying this, if you are a creative listening to this episode, here's my take from the inside of working with a lot of creatives in their shifting their money perspective and their lives. Don't you ever stop doing what you're doing. That's all that you don't have to worry about anything. If you are feeling anxious and stressed about money, come, we clear that anxiety, we clear that stress, we put on a strategy, but you do not stop doing what you're doing. Because when you are tired, you rest. You don't give up. And that is the perspective you need. So please let people know where they can find you, where they can follow this conversation with you.
Sure. So my Instagram is at It's Carolyn Renee. So ITS Carolyn, CAROLYN Renee, RENEE. It's Carolyn Renee. And then the coaching is Let's Deal, the number 2 heal.com. Let's Deal to Heal.
Love it. And of course, I am going to put it in the show notes. So if you don't remember, no worries. Just scroll up and you will see the link there. This has been a pleasure, Caroline. I'm feeling so much at peace after talking with you. I can experience the energy shift. Thank you for everything that you do. It has been amazing to have you here in the podcast. Okay. But before I let you go, did you know that you have a space where your money mindset work is made extra simple so that you can increase your income, better your relationship with money, and grow your business in such a simple and easy way? Go to themoneymindset.hub.com and choose your path and start making those changes easily and effortlessly. That is themoneymindset.hub.com.